You are the one who survived the desert night.
Yes.
We have not had much fortune with outsiders. But as you can see, fortune deserted us long ago. You have come to a cursed land.
What are you doing here? Everybody else seems to be hiding.
I am honoring the dead. My wife and my child. And I stand here because I do not fear joining them.
I'm sorry.
You may read their memorials if you wish. There are many elsewhere. On statues, doorways. Wherever a memory will allow itself to live on.
Now you know what we have suffered. But as I said before, you are not the first outsider to come here.
Who was the other?
His name was Logan, the King of Albion.
Seems your big brother's been keeping secrets. He used to go on expeditions all the time, remember? Until about 4 years ago.
He too faced the Crawler. He saw all his soldiers killed by the darkness and nearly died himself. But he survived, thanks to our care. He left with a promise that he would return with an army and save us from the Crawler. We never saw him again. He left with a promise that he would return with an army and save us from the Crawler. We never saw him again. King Logan did not cause this, but he did nothing to stop it. Now I ask that you do what he would not. Ben Finn has told us of your quest, of your revolution. There are not many warriors left among us, but we have ships, and we are willing to fight beside you. Not because your brother wronged us, nor because we thirst for revenge, but because we want protection. We require aid if we are to survive. That is the promise you must make. Help us to rebuild Aurora and allow it to become a true part of your kingdom. Not a colony, not a thing to be used, but a place with a voice in your court. Will you make this promise?
I promise.
Then let us go to war.
You have survived a terrible ordeal, but you will be the stronger for it. With Kaelin and the Auroran people on your side, you are finally ready to face your brother. It is time for you and Walter to gather your allies and take Bowerstone Castle.
How is he? Is he gonna make it?
I do not know. The darkness is deep within him. Few ever wake.
But he's improving. I mean, you're doing your thing and he's getting better, right?
I do not wish to give you false hope.
Perhaps it would be better if we allowed him to rest.
Don't worry, he's a tough old nut. He'll pull through. Walter?
Oh, balls to you all. You're not burying me just yet.
See? I told ya.
Yes. Shame my first sight had to be your ugly mug.
I'm sorry I left you, Walter.
You did all you could. And don't think I don't know it. I told you you'd make me proud. Well, we didn't exactly find the army we were hoping for. And I feel about 100 years older than when we left, but we're finally ready. You've surpassed every hope I had for you. You're the king Albion needs. So come on. It's time to gather your generals and prepare for battle. You know, maybe I'll take a little nap first.
All right, I've got it. I take a small group of soldiers down this route and blow up the west barracks. It will draw their attention and open up the main route.
How's that better than my idea?
We will live longer than a few seconds.
Oh, well, now you're just picking holes.
Give it up, boy. What I want to know is what my men need to do.
That's for the future king to decide.
Paige knows the city best. We'll follow her plan.
Fine. I only put mine forward to annoy her anyway.
I see you've really matured on your travels. If you'll look at the map, we can go through the details.
My ships will take you to the beach here.
We can expect heavy mortar fire, but most of Logan's soldiers will be busy dealing with Paige and her men.
I want to be in the thick of the smoke and the fire and the glory. If Paige takes the west route, it's only fair I take the east.
Which leaves the centre to us. Less chance of getting lost.
Then we're agreed.
Are you sure you're up to this, Walter?
Oh, don't worry about me. I may feel old and tired, but the day hasn't come yet when I can't charge into a good old-fashioned fight. Let the battle for Albion begin!
Our people are getting torn to shreds out there. They need our help.
We need to take care of that mortar.
We've already lost one ship. Caelin's How dare you shoot!
Ready? Let's go!
The king wants this one dead. And we can't let the king down. Now, can we? What do you get for fighting us? They didn't want to get killed. They shouldn't work for tyrants.
Auroran ship should be able to move in closer now. Come on, Kane, do the stuff.
Take the fight into the city! Ah, a bit of close. Watch out! This is... Recognize old Bolton from Mother Earth. Some kind of black sorcery against us. Stop asking me. Let's go. Stay clear of it. He's not getting back up, that's for sure. He should have surrendered.
Is this not the grandest time you've ever had?
Sabine, you almost blew us up.
You saw a glorious beacon of freedom burning in the night for all the... What is it, Boulder? Oh, bloody hell. Move! Move!
It'll take more than a grenade to finish off that old sod.
Meanwhile, let's do what he says and get moving, shall we?
I'm going to cut out your heart to King Logan. He's using sorcery! Destroy him quickly! Thanks for letting me slay you. sharper than that. There's more of them! Your head's coming off, and soon. I'm the best there is!
There's no way we can get past that.
Oh, please, we're in the street! Have you noticed all the houses and doors? You just breaking and entering, planting Philip.
That is right, you are.
Defend yourself! Not for you. Where are you?
How dare you shoot at the cage man! Stay clear of it!
Oh, about bloody time!
I meant taking care of these barracks, but I couldn't leave you out here alone.
I've been shooting since I was 5, and it never gets tired. Your guard up! Was a sweet spell digging. Elite soldiers, my arse. Have that!
Stay alert. There'll be more coming. We have to find a way past this gate.
Always with the damn gates.
What we need are explosives, but I used mine up on the way here.
If only we knew some sort of tiny, crazy old man who enjoyed blowing things up.
Ha ha! Did you see that order? Let the whole city bow to our thunder.
Hang on. How did you get to the other side in the first place?
Dwellers have their ways, my boy. Is there anyone left to kill?
There will be soon. More troops are on the way. Kalin's fleet got a fair few, but not all.
We'll hold them off.
Come on, Boulder, there's more fighting to be done.
Good luck in there. Hope the crown fits.
Let's finish this for good, while I can still stand up on my own.
I wouldn't hang around here too long if I were you. You're not liked.
Shall we knock? No. Let's surprise him.
So, this is how it ends. The old fool and the child who ran away. You finally become the man I always wanted you to be.
He's a lot more than that, and now he's ready to take your place.
Perhaps the time has come for someone else to lead Albion.
You were never a leader. Just another tyrant.
Did it ever occur to you that I may have had good reason to be?
We're not interested in your reasons.
Cower behind ignorance if you will, but my brother deserves to know the truth.
Save it for the trial, Logan. You can beg for your life then. There he is, the King of Albion. You've made it. Just like I always knew you would. It doesn't get any easier, though. You have a country to run now. And with Jasper busy in the sanctuary, you'll need a new personal aide. Someone who can keep you organized. Let me introduce you to...
Hobson. Hobson's the name, Your Majesty. May I say what an extraordinary honor it is to serve you? I have a vast wealth of experience, I assure you, though I have yet to experience vast wealth. That, Your Majesty, is an example of the sense of humor which will no doubt make our time together such a delight.
No doubt. Well, I'll leave you two to get better acquainted. I should begin preparations for the trial.
The trial, of course. The very first item on today's agenda. Among my other qualities, I am well versed in toadying, public relations, and time management. And I heartily believe the key to being a successful king is following a well-scheduled royal agenda. If you will permit me, here are today's appointments. I'm sure you will do a marvelous job presiding over your brother's trial, which, as I said, will be your very first royal duty. Your subjects await in the throne room for what is sure to be an historic occasion, Your Majesty.
Boo! All stand to attention for the King of Albion. Logan, former King of Albion, you stand accused today of crimes against the kingdom and its people. Those who brought you to justice will now speak.
There's not a soul alive in the kingdom who hasn't suffered for his glory, and plenty who've died for it. I says, let him have some death of his own.
Look, I'm not one for lopping people's heads off, but we saw Major Swift executed like it was a bloody circus act.
He deserves nothing less as far as I'm concerned.
But aren't we better than that? Isn't that why we fought to be here now? I've seen what Logan has done to this city. People starving to death, children forced to work. But killing him now won't solve anything.
It is not my place to decide his fate, but his betrayal condemned many of my people to death. He promised us salvation, and then left us to face the darkness alone.
I had good reason to break that promise, and I had good reason for the crimes you claim I committed. The day I returned to Albion, I received a visit from a blind seer, Teresa, our father's guide. She showed me the future of this kingdom. The darkness in Aurora is coming here, bringing death, destruction, the end of our way of life. The sacrifices I had to make, I did them to protect Albion. If a few had to suffer, it was to build an army. If a few had to die, it was to save a country. I have spent years preparing for this attack. Let me stand by your side now, and all my soldiers will be yours to command. Let us face the coming darkness, together.
This is true. If it's really coming here, we are all in grave danger.
You have the power over life and death, brother. Now choose.
You can't escape punishment for what you've done, Logan. I sentence you to death.
The king has made his decision. Logan will pay for his crimes against the people of Albion with his life.
Squad forward! Attention! Ready! Take aim! Fire!
You have fulfilled the first part of your destiny. You were little more than a child when you left the castle. You have become a hero, a leader, and now, finally, a monarch. But your journey is not yet done. Now you are king. You can know the truth. Albion will soon be attacked, and the threat could not be greater. Darkness is coming to our land. It cannot be reasoned with, it cannot be halted. The ruler of Albion is all that stands between the world we inhabit and that darkness. That is why you had to take your brother's place. The course of history demands it. If you do not succeed, everything we know will come to an end.
Why didn't you tell me all this at the start? It was never about Logan, was it?
I told you what you needed to know, and I never spoke anything but the truth. With Logan on the throne, Albion would have been doomed. This much I know. Only with a hero wearing the crown do we stand a chance of survival.
And how do I stop it?
You won't. Its arrival is inevitable. 1 year from now, the darkness will fall upon Albion. All you can do is prepare, and hope to save as many of your people as you can. How you do so is up to you. 2 paths lie ahead. You may keep the promises you have made and be known as a benevolent ruler. But understand that doing so will leave little to spend on the kingdom's protection and may lead you to disaster. It is not easy to be popular and keep the treasury full, unless you are willing to sacrifice your personal wealth. But you may also choose to break those promises, to harm your people in order to save them. You will not lack the means to build the army you need, but you will be hated. This path will cast you in the role of a tyrant, as it did your brother. You have 1 year to do what Logan could not. Be the ruler that readies Albion for the greatest threat it has ever faced, and be the hero that can stand against it.
Your Majesty, I'm not sure what to say after receiving such news. The darkness that is coming. People won't understand what it means. Nobody could, without living through it first. We need to prepare. If we can't stop the attack from happening, we have to be ready when it comes. You will need to raise a fortune to pay for the army we'll need. Hobson will show you the treasury, and I'm sure he can explain just how to fill it.
Indeed I can.
Then I will leave you to it. Ben and I will begin recruiting and training soldiers at once.
If you will follow me, Your Majesty. Oh, how I have looked forward to this moment. This is it, Albion's royal treasury. The store of the kingdom's total wealth. It's, well, not as replete as one would like, but just imagine this room shimmering with hills, valleys, and plateaus of gold. A topography of riches going all the way up to the ceiling. It will require nothing less to build this army everyone is talking about. Which brings us to the second item on today's agenda, and one I'm personally very excited about. Setting the tax rate for the coming year. As you probably know, your brother was taxing the people rather heavily, and some say that this has led to poverty, starvation, and other societal ills. You have 3 clear choices, Your Majesty. 1, lower the tax rate, which one could argue would help very well, Your Majesty. Ah, an arousing sight, is it not? Breathe in that gilded air. Our tax collectors have not wasted any time carrying out your wishes. Certainly some people will starve to death, but it's a small price to pay for the security of our land. If you carry on being this decisive, the treasury will soon be overflowing. Perhaps you could even take a little of the money for yourself. Wink, wink. However you decide to proceed, you should acquaint yourself with the Royal Ledger. It is a logbook that allows the reigning monarch to make deposits and withdrawals from the treasury. A most useful financial tool. But my, look at the time! You really ought to attend to the next item on today's agenda. Riva has a most intriguing proposal for you in Bowerstone Industrial. Now, I know you have had your differences, but it is time to put those behind you and work together. Nobody can raise money like Riva can, I assure you. I have seen to it that your appearance among the populace is well publicized, so expect a crowd.
The promise you made to Kaelin is now on the wall with the others. Have you some financial concerns? Whatever one's opinion of Riva, it is a marvelous portrait. The brushstrokes hold such aggressive precision. Actually, I think a few of them might be bloodstains.
I cannot...
I'm afraid your property was irreparably damaged.
Don't tempt me, Weaver.
Oh, happy day! His Majesty, the King of Albion, graces us with his radiant presence. I knew last time we met that you would emerge victorious from such public sibling rivalry. And now, here I am, to assist you in filling your coffers till they are fit to burst. What better way to begin your reign than by reinstating one of my most successful policies? There is no greater waste than the idleness of our city's youth, but my employment scheme guarantees children of all ages will have something to occupy them, whilst ensuring our factories are properly manned.
It's just monstrous. Don't listen to him. You promised you would end child labor. Remember that promise now.
And what would you have us do with the snotty little indigents?
The only way Bowerstone is going to climb out of the gutter is through education. Nothing is more important to our future than that. Turn this factory into a school. Give the children of this city the chance they never had.
A school? Well, that's an original thought. Well, if you'd like to be known as a pauper monarch, then...
The factory will be reopened as it was. We need all the workers we can get.
A most astute choice, Your Majesty. I shall begin the necessary modifications at once.
I will never forgive you for this. After all we've done, you're no different to Logan.
Welcome to the reopening of Riva Industries Youth Center, where we care for your young 20 hours a day, teach them valuable skills, and ensure they never, ever get into trouble.
All we bleed to do is work, work, work.
Ah, hello. I have arranged the room to store your fortune as well as your trophies and achievements.
Get some better stuff in.
The king promised he would make things better.
Any other business?
All stand to attention for the King of Albion. Today, you will decide what is to be done with the Bowerstone Old Quarter, site of the battle for Albion. Paige will offer her proposal. Riva shall stand against her.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, our victory came at a great cost to the city. You have done little to improve the lives of your citizens since you came to power. But it's not too late to start. I ask that the old quarter be rebuilt, and its former residents rehomed. You wouldn't just be helping those in great need. You'd be sending a message to your people.
Now is not the time to build houses. We had other priorities. The request is denied.
The king has reached his decision. The old quarter shall become a monument to our victory, and is to be left untouched.
Sanity prevails. And do not fret. I shall make sure there is no negative publicity attached to your decision.
You have turned your back on those who need you the most. I wonder if anything has really changed since we overthrew your brother.
Despite the heartless demands of the greedy few, we are proud to announce that the historic site of Bowerstone Old Quarter will forever be preserved as a monument to this city's greatest triumph. Join me, Riva, in saluting our proud heritage.
It breaks one's heart to see the treasury so empty. If we don't do something about it, we will all die. And I have some very definitive retirement plans. As a matter of fact, our very first order of business might have a bearing on our financial situation. The time has come to decide the annual town guard budget. Very wise, Your Majesty. Better to have a city full of criminals than a city full of very dead people. Let us now turn our attention to the rest of today's business. Here is the royal schedule I have prepared. As you can see, you have a busy day in the court, but a tremendously enjoyable one. Decoration is a passion of mine, and I simply cannot wait to see your choice. The interior designers await you in the throne room. I'm a long-time subscriber to Castle Design Weekly, and I believe the editor is one of the people waiting for you. I must get her.
Welcome to the Sanctuary. Fancy a bit of...
Ladies and gentlemen, the King. Today you decide on the decor of the castle. Two of Albion's greatest interior designers have come to present their suggestions.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, I am Herman Worthy, and I have a design in mind that will blow your little royal socks off. Imagine a celestial scheme capable of lifting the shadows that haunt these halls. A fabulous balance of serene hues that announce to the world, I am a strong, virtuous leader. Hear me roar. But also, look how pretty my home is. You are an enlightened king. Let the heart of your castle be enlightened too.
Celestial? Serene? Pretty? Do you wish to be known as a ruler or as a fool? I propose that we flood the rooms and corridors with blood, or at least a suitable paint substitute. Let all those who look upon this palace know terror, whether they be your subjects or your enemies.
It may seem trivial, but appearances can affect the opinion of the entire kingdom. The choice is yours, Your Majesty.
I wish this to be a fortress of dread.
The readers of Castle Design Weekly will be delighted with your intelligent choice.
Well, I, for one, am seriously considering cancelling my subscription. You're all witches!
Today you decide on the future of Aurora, Your Majesty. Kaelin will speak for her people. Riva will dispute her cause.
You may speak.
I am here to seek the protection you promised.
Aurora will become part of Albion, but they must work for this privilege.
The King has spoken. Aurora shall be mined for resources. Its people shall receive the protection of the throne in exchange for their labor.
You are no better than your brother. He may have left us to die, but you wish only to exploit us.
Welcome to the new and improved Aurora, an oasis of friendship, camaraderie, and valuable resources. Visit the city that Riva Industries rebuilt from sand and tour the local mines, where you can witness the Aurorans' refreshingly vigorous work ethic. Aurora, a gem glowing in the darkness.
A wise decision in court today, Your Majesty. While it is true that your popularity in Aurora has suffered, the people closer to home are not too concerned. This could prove to be a very profitable arrangement. And speaking of Aurora and profits, we may have stumbled upon some very exciting news in that area. It seems that a group of Albion explorers visiting Aurora have discovered a rare diamond in the desert. They heard the legend of this extraordinary gem from the locals, and understandably set out to find it, without a moment's regard for their own lives. Which may go some way to explaining why only one of the explorers returned in one piece. He came back empty-handed, speaking of the hideous desert beings protecting the treasure. Think of the glory, Your Majesty, the adventure, the romance, the large sums of money we stand to make. The diamond is located in one of the caves beneath the Auroran wasteland, reportedly the site of an ancient, abandoned temple. You need only to take it.
Ah, hello. Fancy a bit of counting, do you?
Oh, wretched. Awful.
Ooh.
Welcome to the Sanctuary.
It's more beautiful than I dared to imagine. And heavy, too. Our experts estimate it's worth a small fortune. Of course, now the question becomes, what do you wish to do with this fine stone? Shall I deposit the money from the sale into the treasury? Or perhaps you would prefer the funds were channeled into, let us say, a more personal account? As you wish. Far be it from me to frown upon a little indiscretion. How many lives would it have saved anyway? Who can say? The Treasury is looking rather sickly, wouldn't you agree? We must always be wary of unnecessary expenditures and watch out for possible avenues of profit. With that in mind, I would like to discuss the thorny issue of child benefits, which were abolished under your brother's rule. There are vocal elements within the community who are clamoring for us to bring it back. In the interests of the Treasury and of the long-term welfare of the people, I have a counter-proposal. It's somewhat radical, but rather brilliant, if you don't mind me saying. We charge people for every child they have. This would keep the population low, but more importantly, the Treasury high. I'm so happy you decided to follow my suggestion. There will be less mouths to feed and more gold to stockpile. A win-win situation, if one ignores the inevitable loss of popularity. Shall we proceed with the rest of your appointments? Here is the royal agenda for the day. As you can see, you have 2 audiences in the throne room to begin. I've heard rumors that Reaver's latest proposals are both scandalous and delicious. It should be most entertaining. Page's demands are not entirely unreasonable, and they strike.
All stand to attention for the King of Albion. This hearing concerns the future of the Bowerstone Shelter and Orphanage. Page will speak for the disenfranchised people of the city. Reaver will dispute her cause.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, the shelter has long been the only refuge for the homeless, the poor, and the orphaned. And until we can change the whole world for the better, it will continue to be their only hope of survival.
It is time Bowerstone had its first whorehouse.
The shelter shall become a brothel.
Excellent, Your Majesty. I will see to it immediately. And I mean immediately.
This is exploitation, Your Majesty. Your people won't be pleased.
Does your heart have a sizable hole that can be filled only with love? Do your pockets jingle with leftover gold? Then Riva Industries is pleased to present the House of Requited Affection, where money really does guarantee happiness.
Today, you will deal with a pressing environmental issue: the disposal of the city's waste. Riva will offer his proposal. A member of the Morningwood community will stand against him.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, I'm sure you will have noticed a certain aroma permeating the city of late. Even more.
Morningwood will be granted the honor of receiving the city's sewage.
The king has spoken. The waste from the city of Bowerstone shall be channeled into Morningwood.
I shall begin the flushing immediately, Your Majesty.
Oh, this is heavy. This is totally heavy. You've turned Granny Nature into your toilet bowl. But she'll fight back. You'll see. One day, in like a 1,000 years, she'll fight right back, man.
There is nothing as important as the health and hygiene of our citizens. As such, Riva Industries is delighted to announce the opening of the Morningwood Sewer Reservoir, eliminating Bowerstone's most pungent pollution. Emptying one's bowels has never been safer, or such a pleasure.
The day is almost over, Your Majesty. Only one more appointment left. Page has requested a meeting in the old rebel headquarters. How very cloak and dagger. I wonder what she wants. What possible reason could Paige have to meet you in the rebel underground base? I hope she's not planning a new rebellion, or worse, asking for more money.
Have you checked? Fancy a bit of counting, do you?
It's not every day a king walks into the rebel headquarters. I thought maybe you'd forgotten where it all started.
What do you want, Paige?
I don't know if you still care about your people, but since you took the throne, crime has been flourishing. You're starting to have a serious problem on your hands. Good. Kid went undercover with a gang of robbers and found out their plans. They're going to strike the tavern in Bowerstone Market. If you get there in time, you can stop the raid. And at least one of those thugs must know where Ferret is holed up.
An address from Logan, your king. You are citizens of Albion. Its noble soil runs through your veins. Its long history is your own history. But this kingdom does not exist to support you or to feed you. It is not a fruit to be picked off the ground, or a tree whose shade will protect you unconditionally. This land of ours demands your sweat, it demands your labor, and it demands your sacrifice. We are entering an epoch full of opportunities, but full of peril too. Albion needs you to fight with every breath and work with every heartbeat. It will...
Ah, hello. You have a full royal suit. I must say I am in awe, even without anyone wearing it. Well, that's not the way most people would go. I applaud you.
If you cooperate, you won't get hurt. But if you give us any trouble, we'll kill you. Now, just so you know we mean business, I'd like one of you to give us trouble, so we can kill him as an example to the rest. Who's it gonna be then? Oh look, we have a volunteer. The king, no less. Have at him, fellas.
This guy's rich! Reckon her up foot.
It is no longer advantageous for any of us to frequent the hideout in Industrial. Presently, I shall inaugurate a new centre of operations in Bowerstone Market. You've been provided with a key which will permit access. Please endeavour to prevent its transference to an unauthorised individual.
Hey, they have to. Ah, what rubbish!
Run! Superb! Our demands will be... I have the right to be heard! It's late and I'm off to bed.
You again. It does tend to obviate the entire objective of maintaining a secret hideout, if your enemies can simply infiltrate whenever they've the inclination. Lads, perform the specific services for which I employ you. Expeditiously.
Huh?
Kill him. Fast.
Throne's gonna be cold tomorrow without your arm. What? Some magic. Did we say it was a fight to the death? Really? Doesn't have to be.
I don't like the look of this. He looks like one of those matching tags.
My dear Bob, you're a ruthless crook and a big booby as well. And since you are a ruthless crook, I'm not signing this letter so that I can remain anonymous. Yours, Arthur.
They kidnapped me! Please let me out!
Your beard looks a bit scruffy. Let me give it a trim.
You're filthy. Damn, that nearly hit
I believe I can state with relative confidence that your efforts are in vain. Even should it transpire that you vanquish my associates, this door is completely impenetrable. In addition to which, this cell contains a secret egress through which I may abscond whenever I desire. Meanwhile, my compatriots shall brutalize your person.
Am I good or what?
You haven't lost your touch. I'm surprised his men were foolish enough to fight you.
Now, truth be told, my superlative intellect notwithstanding, it would appear this is not, in fact, the specific cell I so confidently referenced earlier. The one with the secret exit has 2 beds. All right, you have prevailed, Your Majesty. I concede. However, I entreat you to entertain a certain proposal.
You have nothing to offer, Ferret. It's over.
Ah, that pronouncement is objectively devoid of merit. I happen to have on my person a substantial quantity of currency. Let me go free, and the money is... Good of you to demonstrate such compassion. I shan't be so ill-mannered as to outstay my welcome. Farewell!
I'm sorry to say we are falling well short of expectations. The treasury holds nowhere near enough gold. But the kingdom demands your attention once more. The time has come to make a decision on Albion. The residents of Millfields will be most pleased. They will find it money well spent, and I find it money well received. Let us move on to other matters, Your Majesty. You have a busy day in the throne room ahead. Samuel, the head of the Brightwall Academy, is ready to plead his case. I sincerely hope he isn't after a handout, though I'm sure Master Reaver will be the voice of reason, as always.
All stand to attention for the King of Albion!
Can't wait to see what...
Today you decide on the status of the Brightwall Academy, Your Majesty. Samuel will speak for the town and its scholars. Reaver will dispute his cause.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, it was your father who opened the doors to...
The Brightwall Academy will be reopened as promised, but we will charge admission fees.
The Brightwall Academy shall be reopened to those who can afford its services.
If that is how it must be, very well. But I am deeply disappointed you have broken your promise.
Very good. I will make arrangements at once. Stimulate your intellect in the newly reopened Brightwall Academy. Suckle the knowledge from the land's greatest minds and avail yourself of the best library ever assembled. The reasonable enrollment fees are within reach of almost 1% of the population, so don't delay. Brightwall Academy. As long as you earn, it's the place to learn.
The court summons Page and Reaver. The matter before you today is the future of Bower Lake. Reaver will offer his proposal. Page will stand against him.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, a recent survey of Bower Lake has found that the water...
We need the resources in Bower Lake. It will become a quarry.
The king has ruled. Bower Lake shall be drained and mined for resources.
I applaud your enterprising spirit. The lake shall be drained at once.
I fought for you, but you've turned your back on your people. Majesty.
Behold the ugliness of nature, so miserly in its gifts, its very lakeness, an affront to all good sense. Now, see it transformed into an exquisite monument to human ingenuity. Soil and rock offering up life and hope to thousands. How can one fail to be moved by such generosity? Reaver Industries proudly presents the Bower Pits.
I trust the court was not too dull today. In any case, I'm confident your final task will be most enjoyable. A loyal and wealthy member of our community has offered to make a sizable donation to our treasury. Her only request is that you go to Millfields to make the collection in person. A perfect chance to stretch your legs, Your Majesty.
Ah, hello. Fancy a bit of counting, do you?
honest fight.
No. Please. Ah. No. Please. Please. Don't kill me.
Get in there! Another belt in the chops and you'll beat the fucker! Oh, I see. Carved faces in a bed. Not you, idiot! He's making you look...
Look, I know where the thief is. He fled into the woods.
Madam, I understand you want to recover what you've lost, but those woods are simply too dangerous. It would be suicide to enter them without combat experience, or training, or skill.
I don't want to enter them. I want you to.
Right. I was talking about me.
Oh, just forget it. Ah, Your Majesty, it's such an honor to have you here. If only fate hadn't conspired to make me look like a fool. Beware the woods, Your Majesty. The soldiers may be superstitious, but there's no denying dangerous beasts lurk within. Good luck. I know you will succeed.
Gonna take That's just unnatural, that is. We're gonna mount your head over the barracks door as a trophy.
Looking for the statue, Your Majesty. Follow the white Balverine.
Who's my best friend? Hey!
Right, you monster. Prepare to meet your... Oh, I'm so sorry. For a moment there I thought you were a Belverine. Damn things are always trying to get through our defenses. We burn silver nitrate in those lamps to keep them out. Kills them pretty quick if they hang around for too long. If a lamp goes out, well... Got it lit again fast. The man responsible, this bloke Connor, got punished. Severely.
I wouldn't put anything past someone as he has.
Your Majesty, I've been expecting you. Been through the village, have you? Charming hamlet. It's full of warm, wonderful people who'll give you the shirt off their back and condemn you to death for one simple mistake. Anyone can fall asleep on watch. You exile him into this forest and call it justice. But enough about that. You're here for that statue. It's quite a remarkable thing. It did everything the legend said it would. And now I don't need it anymore. It's funny how things change. So if you want to take it back to that prig in Millfields, it's yours. Nearly free of charge. All I ask is a small favor. Destroy those silver nitrate lanterns. Then the village will get a taste of justice. The choice is yours. And it's a simple one. How simple? If you decline, my brothers will kill you. Excellent. Soon we will feast on the bodies of those betrayers. Now go. Destroy all the lamps. Vengeance was sweet. A quality shared by many of my former neighbors, as it turns out. Here's what you came for. Seems the least I can do. Visit us again one day when you get the chance. You'll always be welcome here.
Death will seem like a welcome release once we finish the reunion and straight up. Ooh, nice spray of blood. Keep up. That was me lightning strike technique. Ooh, that's an impressive magic trick.
You're back! Did you find the thief? Did you recover the statue? You found it? Oh, I can barely contain my tears.
And who could begrudge you such a trinket? Did you not risk your life to recover it? I will make sure it fetches a good price, Majesty.
Woo! All right!
With the fatidic attack not far away now, it is rather discouraging to see the Treasury doing so poorly. We must steel ourselves for some hard choices if we wish to survive. As for today's first order of business, you may have heard about the dire situation the kingdom's economy finds itself in. Logan's policies always kept our cities on the edge of bankrupt. A most astute and sensible choice. Financial ruin may bring much distress to your people, but the darkness brings certain death. Shall we proceed with today's agenda? Kalin, the representative for the Auroran people, has requested an audience with you. The court awaits in the throne room.
There are new items. Fancy a bit of counting, do you? If you don't spend your money, it will accrue here in a sort of golden heap. Just doing a bit of bookkeeping, eh? I love that colour of gold, and the brilliance is quite good. Hard to go wrong with the... Any other business to attend to? This room is quite enormous. I wonder how much wealth... You have some new footwear in your wardrobe. Never seen slippers with such a lacy bearing before. Marvelous choice of tattoo. Hello.
My lord?
Hello, your awesome supremeness.
Your Majesty. Everything all right, Your Majesty?
I love you so much. I got you this.
Hello, Your
He seems particularly... that...
His Majesty, the King of Albion.
Majesty.
Today you must decide how much protection to grant Aurora. Kalim will offer her proposal. Riva will stand against her.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, as you know, the threat from the deserts that surrounds my city has...
An outpost would be a waste of resources. Aurora is safe enough for now.
The King's decision is final. The military presence on the streets of Aurora is deemed sufficient for the protection of its citizens.
It is heartening to see reason prevail. Bravo, Your Majesty, bravo.
We saved your life once. Now you condemn us to death? Is that your idea of fair requital?
Bring forth Sabine of the Mist Peak Dwellers. Today, you decide on the fate of Mist Peak, home of the Dwellers, Your Majesty. Sabine will speak for his people and their land. Riva will dispute his cause.
You may speak.
I come here seeking nothing but what was promised me and my people.
The forests of Mist Peak are too important to waste. They will make a valuable resource.
Mist Peak and its forests shall be logged to fuel the kingdom's defense efforts.
You have made an enemy for life, King. Beware a second revolution doesn't take this land before you can save it.
The forests of Mist Peak are our greatest national treasure, and now, thanks to Riva Industries, you can enjoy them too. Ships, weapons, and furniture are just some of the many wonders available to you now. Remember, nature wants us to use her.
Happy anniversary, Your Majesty. 1 year as King of Albion. Doesn't time just fly? To celebrate this momentous day, I have prepared some fantastic events. First, you will stand still for several hours while a local artist paints your portrait. Then, you will choose the 47 varieties of flowers you wish to be cast at your feet as you parade through the city. Oh, and you will need to sign thousands of autographs, of course. Let's see, you will also be fitted...
The day has come, King. It is time for you to face the darkness. But you will do so in your true form. Over the past year, you have made decisions that reveal your nature, and which have affected the lives of all your subjects. Many see you as a tyrant, but you have done what was necessary to save your people. But you are more than a king. You are a hero. You are Albion's champion, its protector. This coming battle is the reason you had to take Logan's place. Only you can defeat the creature that dwells in the shadows. If you do not, all your efforts will have been in vain. Now go. Do what you were born to do.
Welcome to the Sanctuary. The armory is at your disposal. Fast and sharp, I believe those two adjectives are the most apt for...
It's here. The darkness has reached Power Stone. Reports indicate that our defenses were able to hold off the worst of the first attack. But if we don't act quickly, even the armies we prepared for this day will not be enough.
We have to get out on the streets, now!
Today we fight for Albion!
For Albion!
Have you ever seen your own liver?
Defend the city with your lives!
Oi!
Yes, a nice spell should do the trick against these things. Got it? Good. I think it's here, Simon. Just got right. It's here. Yes, but no one will stop here, is it? Does that thing? I'm surprised you're still standing after that. Nice one. He's the man up again.
We have to save our people. But this is the kingdom of unlight now. This is the kingdom of death.
How come we don't get armor like this?
Don't listen to it! I'm trying to insane, don't listen!
Yes, a nice spell should do the trick against these things. Good work!
Death beats its wings. Of your young, the gurgle of a freshly ripped throat. We give thanks for your desperation. You have done such hurtful things. The people now shall rejoice in your death.
insect wings in our hand.
Yes! No armor is stopping you, is it? Got it? Good.
Our protector, our sentinel, the engine in the darkness.
Pack a real buck. You have to smash their armor. Short at the back. I'm not sure I should block it.
We cannot be stopped! Have you not realized that yet? Are you thinking of your loved ones now? How you will never see them?
I can feel it. We're getting close to that thing. Where are you? Show yourself!
The lost sheep returns to the flock. No one ever leaves the darkness behind. Do you see? Do you see what you have allowed? We are all shadows now.
Hey, we can't get through.
Kill it!
I think whatever's inside them just got fried.
Why did you do this to me?
Ouch! That must have hurt.
I am shadow and death.
You made us do it. You made us. I have killed so many of you already. Why fight me any longer? Where are you? Where are you? Make it in! Make it in! Don't fight back, my child. I have cared for you. I have taught you. I have made you. Take it out of me, please! You can beat it! You have to! I have killed so many of you already. Why fight me any longer? You would be nothing without me. I have killed so many of you already. took away the darkness. It's been inside me all this time. But it's light now. I can see the sky. And it's light. I don't think I can fight anymore.
It's all over, Walter. We won. We beat it together.
Do you remember the stories I tell you when you were a child? There was a great king once. The mightiest hero of them all. Remember what you would say?
Teach me to be a hero.
You've done me proud, boy. You've always done me proud.
Oh, Walter.
I think old Walter would have liked it out here. He was always a fan of looking tall and stony. I can imagine what he'd say if he was here now.
Shut up, Ben.
Exactly. Well, King, old chum, ruler supreme, pal, you did it. You saved the kingdom. And it's time I said my goodbyes. I'm not cut out to be a general. Now, I think I'd like to start travelling again. Or maybe see if Paige needs any help down in Industrial. But before I go, let's send off our friend in style, shall we? This one's for you, Walter.
This is the world as it could have been. Devoid of colour, devoid of life. It is thanks to you that it isn't so, and you ruled as strong leaders should. It is not everyone who understands the necessity of making sacrifices. It is what fate requires of us. You were brave to break your promise to Sabine and his people. But it is through such decisions that wars are won and lost. You turned your back on Paige, but she dealt in ideals. A ruler must deal with reality. Is saving the lives of an entire civilization not worth more than the comfort of its citizens? You understood, as your brother did, that Aurora was a doomed land from the start. Saving Albion was always more important. Without the strength to make those choices, we would not be standing here now. Perhaps we shall meet again one day, King.
Aren't you going to tell me my future?
The future will reveal itself when it is ready to do so.
Congratulations, you've made a friend. In addition to being jolly good company, friends can give each other gifts and even discounts at shops that they own.